Nonsense Gaming Zone here with episode 2 with the Denver Nuggets in the Kobe Bryant era. Been pretty fun so far. First episode, we simulated everything, so if you want to check that out, go back and take a look. LeBron James got drafted by the Miami Heat. Dwayne Wade got drafted by the Chicago Bulls, but we simulated everything so we can get through it. Now, as the series goes on, we're going to play games. So in this video, we're going to be playing against the Orlando Magic and Tracy McGrady. Man, that's going to be interesting. We got Gilbert Arenas, so we got a good chance. First 2 seasons with the Denver Nuggets was pretty bad. First season, we got crushed, didn't make the playoffs, nothing good happened. Second season, we got to the playoffs and got swept in the first round. So now we're looking to bounce back. But in this episode, like I said, we're going to play those Orlando Magics, and we're also going to take a look at see what teams are good, what players are best. But first, let's jump into our team and see how we're looking. Here it is, Gilbert Arenas, 93 overall, pretty darn good player in the league right now. And then we got Marcus Camby, big guy down low, that's super helpful. Desmond Mason, the Cowboy, used to be on the Seattle Sonics, loved watching him dunking on people in real life back in the day. And then Jamal Crawford, looking forward to scoring buckets with him and Joe Johnson. And then the guy that I really need to step up and really do good with is Josh Smith, the rookie. But now that you've seen our team, let's go look at the rest of the league. Kobe Bryant is the best player in the league right now, 98 overall, 26 years old on the Los Angeles Lakers, followed by Tim Duncan, both 98, so really good. Kevin Garnett, Shaq, we'll see how long Shaq and Kobe stay on the Lakers. That should be interesting as time goes on. 5th best player in the league, and we're going to play him in game 1 after we simulate 2 games, 96 overall, so that should not be an easy task. AI, Gilbert right there, like I said, pretty freaking solid, he's up there. Top 15, top 10 guys in the league right now. Vince Carter, LeBron James, 19 years old, 90 overall, 3rd year in the league. Holy smokes, he's about to take off and dominate. Episode 1, him and Dwayne Wade both got their teams to the playoffs, and I believe they faced each other in the Eastern Conference Finals. So it's going to be special with those two. Ben Wallace, Amari Stoudemire. Now let's go take a look at some of the best teams in the league right now. Chicago Bulls, they got Dwayne Wade, 87 overall, one of the best teams in the league last year, so we had a look. I don't think they're the best right now in the East, but we'll see. We're going to take a look here. Dwayne Wade, Tyson Chandler, Eddie Curry, they got some guys down low that can cause some problems, but nothing super special. The West, though, it is stacked, so this could be one of the better teams in the East, but let's keep moving forward and see who else is good. LA Clippers, the other team in LA. Now, they got Elton Brand, Jermaine O'Neal went to the Clippers. That's a great 1-2 punch there, down low, and Sean Marion. So 3 really solid guys. If they can get a guard that can score, watch out for that team. They do have Derek Fisher. 30, so he's not like a wildly veteran yet, but it could help out. But maybe not the best team in the West, but they should be pretty solid. Carmelo Anthony and the Atlanta Hawks should be a pretty decent team in the East as well. We'll see who kind of goes deeper, the Hawks, the Heat, or the Bulls. Carmelo, 88 overall. Sharif Abdul-Rahim, 86 overall, followed by Jason Terry, 84. They're just not very deep. Once they get some more pieces, if they make some moves, that could be a team to reckon with there in the East. I absolutely had to stop here. The Miami Heat, 90 overall. LeBron James, Caron Butler, Baron Davis, and LeBron together at the same time. That should be pretty good. And then you got some guys. Eddie Jones, Manu Ginobili, Alonzo Mourning. As of right now, this Miami Heat team is the best team in the East, but we'll see as we keep going on. Kevin Garnett and the Utah Jazz. Yep, you got that right. In free agency, the Jazz picked up Garnett so they can make some moves here in the West against the Spurs and the Lakers, but look at that. Garnett, Kirilenko, Harpering, Corey Maggette. That should be a pretty good defensive team. I still don't think they're better than the Spurs or the Lakers, but Garnett on the Jazz, pretty special. Sacramento Kings, they were a great team back in their heyday. Chris Webber, 89 overall, Mike Bibby, and Peja Stojakovic. Pretty freaking solid. Once again, not better than the Lakers and the Spurs, so we'll see what happens with this team. The Los Angeles Lakers, Kobe Bryant, and Shaq. They don't have a deep team as you can see here, but when you got 98 and 96 Shaq and Kobe, you can do some work. Just had to stop here because this is a team we're going to be taking on here in just a little bit. 96 Tracy McGrady, I've said it a couple times already, followed by Mike Miller and Theo Ratliff. So they got a shooter, they got a big, and they got an ultimate scorer in Tracy McGrady. Should be a pretty decent team in the East, but I think the Heat have their number. Maybe the best team in the West, you let me know. Tim Duncan, 98 overall. Tony Parker, 22 years old, 88 overall. And in free agency, they picked up Richard Hamilton in, I believe, that first season. And then Bruce Bowen. They got some guys. They're pretty decently deep. I think they can make a big run in that Western Conference in the playoffs. Amari Stoudemire and the Phoenix Suns. This one's going to be interesting. So you got Amari here at 89, then you got Stephon Marbury at 85, good point guard to go with him, Lamar Odom, so pretty solid wing, and then you scroll down and you got Dwight Howard, the rookie, 79 overall. So as he progresses, this team going to be Lob City, very special, big guys that can run, should be fun. But now let's get into our game against the Orlando Magics. Here we go. Here's the starting lineup. As you can see there, big key stars, no duh, Gilbert Arenas and Tracy McGrady there on the left and right. Now let's get into the highlights and see how we do.
Always going up with the alley-oop here, and slam dunk by Canby.
Excellent job working the pick and roll that time. Arenas, a very solid passer when he wants to be.
Here's Glover. Miller outside. The shot from 20 feet away. And that one, good. Miller's got 8 points. Bender with the screen for Arenas. Hangs in midair and converts on the double clutch layup.
Agent Zero, a.k.a. Gilbert Arenas on the pick and roll.
Pass to Miller. The three. Drills the three-pointer. 11 points in the game.
Hope for now is that somehow it's not a long-term issue.
On the offensive end.
Well, it's really hard to stop them when they're in a groove offensively, and they were in a comfort zone all game long in that one.
To the paint. Here's Tavares. And the rejection by Smith. Mason with it. And it's Smith penetrating. And the dunk by Smith. It's the Magic. They're up by 3 from the Pepsi Center in downtown Denver. We're back in a moment. Denver shooting a respectable 47% for the field in this one. Crawford's shot is good.
The D just sagged off just enough and no hesitation.
Crawford outside. And again, Denver with the triple.
And operating out of that two-man game, he finds some space.
And they pick up 2. Now it's a 7-point Nugget lead.
Nice play.
Deep 2 from Crawford. Nice shot from the wing. Crawford's got the lead up to 7 now for Denver. Hill against Crawford. And the basket by Hill.
You know what? Sometimes something good can come out of a bad possession.
You look at Jamal Crawford in this game. I mean, he's been everywhere.
And he's shown just how adept he can be at creating contact and then cashing in at the line.
Well, you know, in that first half, it was a common occurrence. He got to the stripe time and time again.
Puts it up from 17. And again, it's Denver.
In the mid-range, Johnson is reliable and consistent.
Johnson outside. Whistle blows. Bucket is good. And he'll have a chance at the line to make it a 3-point play.
Whenever they get it.
Well, you know, I hear you. That's a good look. But when you're that wide open, I think you got to knock it down.
Kicks it out to Johnson. Johnson coming off an assist from Arenas. Johnson's got 13. Here's Ratliff and blood. That one goes careening off the glass. Johnson wide open. He fired. And again, Denver with the triple. On the wing, Jamal Crawford. Guarded by Blake. It's Crawford with the drive. He scores his 5th field goal. He's taken 9 shots to get those 5. So it's Denver up by a dozen here at the end of the quarter. They've had such great ball movement and shot selection, and it's led to a terrific field goal percentage. And we'll be right back after this. Wallace with a screen for Crawford. Nice concentration to hit the double clutch layup. Crawford's got 19 points.
Yeah, and right when you thought that shot was leaving his hands, he reinvents it.
Denver's gotten fewer than half of their 3-pointers to go down tonight. They're 4 for 9. And that one drops for him.
And now as the clock ticks down, this is going to end up as a solid victory here for the Nuggets.
We put a pretty good beat down on the Magic there, 80-69. Came down to T-Mac not playing. Not sure what I was looking at there in the starting lineup. He didn't play the entire game, so it was pretty much easy. And you saw Jamal Crawford go absolutely off in that game. He had a pretty good game, but fast break points and points in the paint is what did it, and T-Mac not playing. So now let's take a look at the player stats. We'll start with the Magic, and they had nobody to score the ball. Mike Miller, 20, and that's about it. A bunch of 8s and 110 with Steve Blake, so that was pretty terrible. Now on our team, Jamal Crawford, 23 points. When he came in off the bench, he absolutely got it going there for us. We started down, not sure what happened, and then he came in and hit some shots, and that's pretty much sealed it from there on. And then Joe Johnson as well, 10 of 15, 22 points. He dominated as well. Hit 2 3-pointers, pretty huge. Josh Smith, good game. As you saw, Marcus Camby went out, so he had to pick it up defensively. Did that with 3 blocks, 7 rebounds, and 13 points. So did what I needed. And then Gilbert Arenas, like I said, I struggle with him. 4 of 11, 10 points. I got to get it going or he's going to get traded. Now let's go simulate a few more games and wrap up this video. We are now 3-0 after the first 3 games. We simulated those first 2 and we won those, so good start. Then we played the Magic without T-Mac and dominated those guys. We'll simulate past the Kings and kind of see what happens. Next episode, we'll take on LeBron James and the Miami Heat. That should be a good one. Can't wait for that one. Then we got the Nets, Hawks, and Hawks. So tough stretch for episode 3, but let's simulate a few more and see how we finish. We are now 6-2 after that simulation. We went 3-2. Both losses were to the Detroit Pistons, so they must be a pretty decent team. But we're going to simulate with Simcast here and kind of see what happens because this Kings team is 6-3. We're 6-2, both teams in the West. So let's dive in. Maybe we can get some good action. Well, as you can see there, no reason to dive in. Kings win 124-91. Let's dive into the stats and see what happened there. Well, what happened? We couldn't shoot. We were 40% from the field, 1 of 17 from the 3-point line. You're never going to win a game when you play like that. Just absolutely pathetic. Here are some player stats. Chris Webber, decent game, 27 points, 14 rebounds. Mike Bibby, 21 and 10, 4 dimes there. And Gilbert, so Gilbert does okay without me, 10 of 22, so not a great percentage, but okay. 22 points, 12 dimes. Desmond Mason, somebody else will have to do better with, 8 of 10, 19 points. But man, that sucked. All right, that wraps up episode 2. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. That way you can get notified anytime anything drops, whether it's a short, more episodes to this series. Next video, we'll be taking on the Miami Heat. We might play 2 games in that one, but we'll definitely simulate a few games, look at prospects, leaders, and stats and standings and things like that. So we'll check you later.